So section one, wooden dummy with um, some explanative walkthrough. Section one, I'm going to open up with just getting my proper distance. I want to be able to hit the dummy. I want to be able to like lean in. I don't want to, I just want to be able to hit him, right? And it should be such that ideally I can hit him better with one hand than I could with two. That should mean that he can't hit me if we were squared up, and he's totally squared up. So his line, this square line, if I'm in this space, he shouldn't be able to hit me at the distance that I'm at. But I should be able to, as I use my Chum Q and my UG techniques, and to some degree some Sulam Tao, but as I use my Chum Q and UG techniques, I should be able to reach him and he not reach me. So I'm mitigating risk and fortifying my actions. Okay, so that's the start though. Is that so? I'm going to get this distance. I can get him, especially if I'm one hand, but I can still fingers his eye. If I'm there, which means he can fingers my eye. Except that now I'm going to bound to the stance, and this puts me back just enough, right? Just enough. I can touch that face. If he was leaning back, he couldn't get me, anyways, that's the idea. I'm just looking for that distance, that space. All of the reasons that are possible are the reasons. Okay. Okay. Opening fighting stance is important. This is where we're training from. It's also my wedge. My wedge is in between his lines, right? I got my wedge right out in front of me. So he has to go around them, right? And I know this. And so I open here, I see he's got this line coming at me. This could be a punch, this could be whatever. But this is the line, and I'm going to tonsile, into that line. And so now I've got that wedge. I know this line is going to deflect off of me, right? And if it hits me, it's going to be a grazing hit, right? Assuming, depending, of course, on where I'm at, right? If this is a wrist or a forearm versus if this is like the inside of the arm here or an elbow, right? But this is for this instance, this idea of wedging him off. This isn't in this hooking area. This is out in this area here. Okay. All right. And then I'm gonna shoot for that clinch, right? So I'm looking to pull him off that line and secure that clinch. Now it's very, very important that my clinch comes in up off of this line. You see this in Sulam Tao when we make that punch come in on the center and then we send it out. This is where this is at, okay? We're coming in on that line so we can get onto the inside so that we can protect ourselves from this line, this limb. Boom. Then I got him and I give him this. And I could use my gravity to do this. I could just do this to just jerk him off, just ground a little bit. But I want to get this, right? And better if I can use my sinking energy, which you see on the dummy. It's better if I can use that. So that's what I'm working on doing, right? I want to train that with the dummy. And I'll release him, and I'll go into bong style. Now, in this release, if I release him sharp, I can train my response to him. So while those are all separate techniques, I could take advantage of the form to release dummy. Dummy gives me some feedback, and he comes back at me, and I know I can respond to him with swiftness and sensitivity, because I can feel his pressure moving forward. I can feel him come at me. As I let go, I feel him pull, and I see it. I can drive in there. Now I've got the bridge, right? I've bridged, seeking bridges, chunk you, okay? Boom. And now I'm also on this angle. I'm fighting this way while my hips are this way, right? And I'm going to use that to get around him. And now I'm going to use Kuma to develop energy. Boom. But I'm going to just palm strike him, right? While I flip this bong to a ton. Boom. right? That's Huma. That Huma isn't like a big thing. You can train it big to teach yourself, so you can play with it and say, I'm here, and then I'm here, and you can do that. It's totally appropriate because that's what you're training. You're coming in here, and and this could be a hit here. This is what we're doing for form, but this, you can think about this if you're on the other side of the line of this guy, and you've got the hit right into his head, into his chin, his face, his nose, his throat. Boom, give it to him, his solar plexus or the ribs, or, maybe it's like it's right under his arm and I'm boom, and now I'm moving him forward. I'm going to knock him over that way to take him off balance. All of that, whatever possibility it could be, that's what it is. Okay. But train it for the techniques and let the form speak to you. Okay. The next thing out of there, boom, boom, here we are. Now, I'm going to, we'll be moving to this technique. This is double, right? This is our, okay, my head, whatever. But here I am. I know I'm going to shift out. Boom. When I shift out to that, I'm just opening up my stance, and I'm making this contact here, and that's putting these two. You've seen this in other martial arts where they'll be here or here, right? Here or here. It's a similar thing. We're in here, right? So this face at this time is coming from here to here. Another step, right? Again, this is that, right? And these are all separate techniques. This is a Dai Bong. This is a Tan Sao, right? These are separate techniques, but we're doing them together to train them and to train also my ability to recognize multiple things at one time. My body and my brain get to work together. Boom. All right. I'm stepping out off this line and back in another Huma, but this time this is that other drag step where I'm going to bring my step around. My step meets, and then once it's in that place, I have the rest of the hip to bring. My hip's going to pop it, boom, and it's big Huma, right? Don't hit too hard surface with your palm all the time, because it'll give you carpal tunnel. Right? I have really bad carpal tunnel specifically from hitting my dummy too hard, too much. So you don't have to. You get your punching bag out to train that. But this, you train the line and you train the Hume. Right? I know it's there. Right? I don't have to break the wood, I could do that with dummy, with Bob. Okay. On this side, now from this side, I'm going straight across into the front of the dummy, and I'm gonna use my cutting line with the Fak Tan and the Dai Bong. So you're here, and now I come right to the front of the dummy. See, and I'm cutting this across, right? So like not Wu Sao, there's Wu Sao, but with this cutting motion, right? That's Fak Sao, double Fak, right? And now this is, this could be I'm deflecting lines. I'm getting his lines out of the way. This is all the things it could be. It is, right? But this is, I'm getting both those lines out of the way. He's got maybe a kick and a punch, or he's got two punches, or he's got two swords, or he's got a knife and a punch, or a punch, and he's reaching in to grab me for a clinch. But I'm just getting those out of the way, and I want to shift around and boom, and I'm going to get him, and I get caught with his line. Now this is there's that cutting line that Fox out, but this is a punch, that gets stuck, right? That gets stopped by his line. It's a whatever it needs to be for you to learn the techniques, right? The lines in the techniques. Well, I hewn around. I got the Fook hand after the hewn, right? But that Fook hand is just I just cleared that line, and I do not have, I'm not pushing his line out and away here. I've come around this line, and the second I feel that this line, this is out of the way, I'm going to shoot. My pressure is going forward on this guy. My pressure is going forward. I'm hewing here, but my pressure is still forward on him. Even though I'm the foxhow of the hewn, I got the foxhow. My foxhow isn't pulling right now. My foxhow still got this forward pressure, right? And he might be giving me forward pressure because of that. He's going to read that, and maybe he's going to let me hit him now because he's going to either pull it away or he's going to push into it. But regardless of what he's doing here, I can feel it and read it. And my objective is I'm going to hewn, and then immediately my line, I'm boom straight in because I'm clear, I'm in, right? Boom, I get stopped here, right? And then boom, I'm in, right? And that's the end of that first section of section 1. Section 1 has 2 sections, left and right. So that's that broken down.